I have come to the end of my Veganuary challenge, and this is how I got on.
Omnivorous competitive cyclist Hench did a Veganuary challenge and reported his findings on the Global Cycling Network YouTube channel. Did it put vegan nutrition in a good or a bad light for their 2.5 million strong subscriber base? And just how good was his nutrition? I'll give my perspective as a vegan nutritionist. Okay, so there was some healthy fruit and some leafy greens in there, top marks. The plant milk, depending on the type, may have had a decent amount of protein, where it's something like soya milk, that would be a good choice too. Bit hard to tell the other ingredients, perhaps a vegan protein powder or superfood supplement, and maybe some ground flax or chia seeds. Either way, it's looking like a great start.
I can't do the meeting without a coffee. Oat milk.
In my opinion, the body is not working optimally if we require stimulants. Some people can keep it to a minimum and be okay, however, there is the lost opportunity cost. Hench could have drunk something healthier in the coffee's place, green tea, matcha or hibiscus tea for example. To be fair though, if you're going to have white coffee, then oat milk is super creamy and delicious and won't give you heart disease like dairy does.
Oats cereal with dried fruit, fresh fruit, and also some coconut yogurt. This does me just fine. And also it's really tasty.
Of course, oats are a great slow burning fuel source. They're also great for the heart, and the types of fiber in there known as beta glucans boost immunity. More fruit, great, but I would seriously switch the coconut yogurt out for a soya-based one. For one thing, it will have more protein, making the meal better balanced. And also, many people are still unaware of this, but the fats in coconut raise the risk for heart disease. Not as bad as butter would, but still worse than beef fat. I limit my intake to a little bit of flesh on a rare occasion, and I totally swerve things like coconut milk, coconut yogurt, and especially coconut oil. Energy balls, great option for athletes and busy people on the go. I have 5 different recipes for these in my Virtuous Vegan Desserts cookbook, which you should buy. It's on sale at the minute, you should get it. Dates, oats and chia seeds, all fantastically healthy ingredients. The sweetener, agave I'm guessing, not so much. Far too processed to be healthful. If the snacks are not sweet enough, I'd lean more heavily on the dried fruits and ease back on the oats a bit.
So yes, it's lunchtime and I've made myself a green soup. Full of fibre, full of vegetables.
Good man, he seems to have his priorities right. The more fibre the better, as long as it's well tolerated. Oftentimes people who are new to healthy eating need to start lower with the fibre and slowly ramp it up as their gut microbiome adapts to accommodate it. And of course, veggies are chock full of both vitamins and minerals. According to Harvard University, they have 16 times more than meat does.
Soup's so easy to do, and you can smash so many vegetables and potatoes and all that goodness in really easily. So this should give me a good amount of energy for the rest of the day.
I would beg to differ there. That bowl is very small, and veggie soup, even if it does have some potatoes in, is very calorically dilute. I would personally eat several times that in a sitting. If volume is an issue, then a quality bread or whole intact grain would be a great addition. Very healthful though, again, top marks.
What's a good vegan snack, you ask? Well, what I've been doing is having a lot of nuts.
Nibble nobby's nuts. Oh, nobby. Sorry.
Nuts are a great source of fibre and protein. So they're a really good, easy snack. No cooking involved. And to be honest, they give all the goodness you kind of need.
They're a great food, very calorically dense, and as Hench alluded to, very nutritious. One caveat, they tend to be high in pro-inflammatory omega-6. This needs to be balanced against the anti-inflammatory omega-3s. By the end of the day, you want a ratio of only about 3 or 4 to 1 in favor of the omega-6. The best foods for omega-3 as a vegan are ground flax, ground chia, sacha inchi, if you can find those types of seeds, walnuts, hemp hearts, and also algae oil supplements. Coconut oil is one vegan food that I wouldn't eat if you paid me. 82% saturated fat. Clever marketers will tell you that's fine because coconut oil has medium chain triglycerides, or MCTs. Well, for a start, MCTs still raise heart disease risk, just not half as badly as the long and very long chain triglycerides. But also, what these marketers don't tell you is that MCTs make up only 12% of the saturated fats. The rest are the long and very long chain triglycerides, which very definitely do contribute to a shorter life. Also, bearing in mind that we are talking about athletic performance, why would you want to include these types of saturated fats, similar to the ones found in animal products, that are vasoconstrictors? Doesn't make sense, does it?
Right, time check is around 4 o'clock, and again, I'm getting a bit peckish. So I've made some avocado toast. Again, super easy to make, easy, quick, and healthy, and full of all those good fats as well.
Great, totally agree. I'm not seeing much in the way of carotenoids yet. One tip would be to add some tomato here. As well as being a powerful antioxidant, lycopene, being a carotenoid, converts into vitamin A in the body, an essential nutrient. The avocado, being fatty, would aid absorption.
I'm feeling good, I'm feeling energized, and I've also got a little mid-ride snack. So I've got some flapjacks I made earlier. Now, in order to get me through this session, and it has to be said, because I'm only doing an hour session, I probably don't need the extra bars or the extra carbohydrates. But nevertheless, having some flapjacks on board, or even in the fridge, are a great source of energy when out on the bike. They're absolutely ideal for that fast activating energy source that we look for, the carbohydrates within the oats. But then with the agave syrup, you've got plenty of the sweet glucose that we look for as well.
Agave. I think he just mixed the sweetener up with a holiday destination. Again, agave. I know he's ripping through the calories, but refined sugars wreak havoc in the body. I would recommend switching out the flapjacks for a dried fruit such as delicious, gooey medjool dates. Excuse me a minute, I've just realised how hungry I am.
I did sign up though to a food delivery service, and what happens there is that you sign up to it, you choose your menus, and you choose...
Is it just me, or is his cabinet on the there behind him?
What you'd like to eat, and they send you a whole load of ingredients, and all you have to do is put it together. And it really is as simple as that. Tonight, I've picked out the baked butternut squash, biryani, and coconut yogurt.
Bloody coconut again! Ah! Overall, I'm very impressed with his food choices. However, his lifespan, his health span, and his sports performance could benefit from ditching the processed coconut products.
There we have it. It's cooked. Rice biryani, or rice butternut squash biryani. Great.
Butternut squash is super healthy and chock full of those carotenoids that I mentioned earlier. I think that he's likely covered most nutrients as long as he's supplementing for vitamin B12, vitamin D3 and iodine. I didn't see any seaweed in his diet there. Nice job, Hank.
One or the other, but it smells amazing. It took about 25 minutes to prep, good 20 minutes to cook. Once it's cooked, I mean, there you have it. A good source of carbohydrates in there and a good hearty meal. Why have I used a food delivery ingredient service, you may ask? And I think because I was really struggling with cooking and I didn't have a clue how to cook a plant-based diet. So this has genuinely helped me learn to cook some really exciting meals, but also learn how to put it all together and to find out that the plant-based diet can actually be really interesting and you can make really tasty food.
Well, that's all very positive, isn't it?
I saw the plant-based diet as a distant dream, an unrealistic challenge, but how wrong I was. I've genuinely enjoyed cooking, and it's not that I've just enjoyed the food I've made, but I've actually enjoyed the cooking process. I mean, I've cooked a vegan casserole, a vegan linguine, a vegan lasagna, a vegan macaroni cheese, a vegan curry. I mean, all these things that I would never have dreamed of cooking, I've cooked, and they've been plant-based, they've been vegan. Yes.
Nice job.
My sleep has been good. I'm getting good amount of sleep and deep sleeps too, meaning I am energized for the day. How's my training been going? Really good. I mean, I'm progressing, I'm getting stronger, I'm getting fitter, but the diet I've been on has been helping the training I've been doing, and it's helped to promote the adaptations that I need to get fitter.
Plant-based gains, baby.
It's the 2nd of Feb now. Am I a vegan? No.
What?
But I am gonna go vegetarian.
Nutritionally speaking, milk is basically liquid meat. Be ready to lose all those benefits you've just had. Of course, you can mitigate this somewhat by relying more heavily on plants than animal products going forwards. But why wouldn't you want optimal health and sports performance?
I actually got offered a roast chicken with Hank's dad, and I actually turned it down. I kind of wasn't really craving the meat that I used to. I wasn't craving the English breakfasts that I used to love and enjoy. No, now a plant-based one is absolutely perfect for me.
Your heart salutes you and the planet thanks you. Less pigs will die an excruciating death in a gas chamber, and less chicks will be shredded alive. Not everybody knows this yet, so pass it on, but because male chickens don't lay eggs, they're superfluous to the egg industry and they get macerated.
It has to be said though, the vegan diet, the vegetarian diet isn't for everyone.
Turning around the question I often get, I would ask these people, are you non-vegan for anti-health, anti-ethical or anti-environmental reasons?
But yet, I'm amazed at what this whole process has done and how it's changed my mentality. So there you have it, something I wasn't expecting, and I bet you weren't either.
Oh, I was. I'm just gutted you didn't do it sans the oil and agave. Perhaps another experiment? This time test your blood markers too. I'm convinced you'll be sold on it after.
Over the last 4 weeks, I've been using a Whoop band to track my HRV, my heart rate variability, but this also shows my cardiovascular strain, so the strain I have during the day, and also my sleep. So this is a really good, informative piece of tech that I can use to show if my diet's working. And the results speak for themselves. So as you can see, I've been in the green for the majority of the month, meaning the plant-based diet is working for me.
Boom! In your face, Verage.
I think it's about time we catch up with nutritionist and world tour dietitian Nigel Mitchell to see what he thinks about how I got on over the last month. Nigel, how's it going?
Hi Hank, how are you doing then? You've been at this plant-based diet for a month, so it's time to check in.
It's been eventful and it's been genuinely mind-blowing, and I don't put that lightly, but yeah, it's what a journey.
That's how I feel. I still can't believe how much better I'm doing without all that animal fat clogging up my system.
How's the training gone? How's the recovery gone? How's the numbers looking?
In order to help me with that, I used a fitness app to be able to put all my food in, like a food diary, and that way at the end of the day I can look in to make sure I'm hitting the target of protein, fats and carbohydrates. And that has generally really helped. So I got into a good routine and my body got used to knowing how much to eat to be able to sustain the training that I was doing. The numbers are looking fantastic. I'm getting fitter. My FTP has grown or risen. I've got fitter, stronger. My test on my fat and my body composition is happening tonight. So once I've got those results in, I'll be sending them over to you, Nigel, to let me know how I got on that side of things. But I guess the biggest thing for me is my sleep and my recovery. And I was using a Whoop.
Whoop, there it is.
And that's basically giving me profiles of how I'm recovered. And as you can see, the majority of it is in green. And if we go back all the way to the start, it was all in yellow. And as soon as I went vegan, it all went green. What does that mean?
It means if you care about your health and fitness, you'll continue eating solely plants.
Basically what we're looking at here is your heart rate variability, which is looking at the parasympathetic system. And this is becoming more and more popular with people, not just with athletes, where we're looking at at the recovery. This is looking at the stress side. So we, not just with athletes, but with people who are working in business and other areas, it's giving us an indication of our recovery, our stress. We use it a lot with athletes where we're monitoring these aspects within the sleep. And basically, when it becomes short and becomes compromised, this is adding we're not recovering as well. So what that, and it's very individual, so it's looking at the relative changes to that individual. So with yours, you've gone from an amber, which is saying, look, you know what, this is not really terrible, but you know, you need to keep an eye on it, to green, which is just showing it's one of the. It's like with any of these biomarkers, it's something that backs up how you're feeling. So you're going, actually, I'm feeling great, I'm sleeping great, and that backs that up.
Going through all this data and tracking my diet has actually helped me intake the right amount of carbohydrates. Before, I think I was almost under eating, so I wasn't getting the training adaptations that I was looking for. And now I feel, because I'm getting the right amount of sleep and I feel like I'm getting the right amount of carbohydrates, I'm actually being able to train harder, faster, and for longer.
Yes, of course, carbohydrate is our species-specific preferred fuel source. Even as a bodybuilder, I found that lowering my protein and upping my carbohydrate was greatly beneficial to both my sports performance and the way I looked. What's the most carbohydrate-rich diet? One with 0 animal products.
Are we going to see the plant-based diet morely widespread in the pro peloton? Is it something that, with the data?
You'd expect so, wouldn't you? Some people aren't as quick off the mark though, so enjoy your advantage while you can.
Hey, Ang, I'm just following up from our chat yesterday. Thanks for sending that body comp data through. This is really interesting. I said to you when we were talking that to me, you look like you lost about 3 kg, and basically I'm within 200 grams of that. So you're 70.4 and you're 67.6. But what's quite interesting is when I'm looking through the data and I'm really trying to understand, are we losing fat mass? Are we losing muscle mass? What are we losing? And we can see there's quite a significant drop in the skin folds. And when we're looking at the changes in girth, such as the calf and upper arm, then we're not seeing such a big drop. And the reason there is a change, but because of the change in the fat mass, then actually that compensates. So it's not suggesting there's any lean tissue loss. So
a plant-based diet is very obviously the dog's.
My Veganuary is up. It's over.
But still, thousands of animals are being executed against their will each day, and the planet is heading down this. Hank, from what I've seen, you seem like a great guy. Please consider another more in-depth trial, this time with a completely whole foods plant-based diet. In order for you to have dairy, calves are being shot in the head. You don't want that on your conscience, and you could feel fitter still. Now click this.